All right. Well, this is my old friend Tim Tolka. This will be the third time he's appeared on my podcast, uh, and we're going to talk about my new album, Home, because I'm a narcissist. I also realized that I've done I think an interview for this with another guy, and then I did a podcast with a girl about addiction, and the whole time there's been a spilt ashtray. Someone spilt an ashtray back there when we were recording, and I had no idea. And it's right there. So I'm a skank.
I see it.
Yeah.
Looks
So,
terrible.
yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm gonna get the old dustbuster out after this and take care of that. So how are you, Tim?
I'm good. Uh, Cold day in Buenos Aires. Probably a bit like Kentucky's winter, spring right now.
It got really cold the last couple of days, and now at night particularly. Right now it's actually really pretty outside, so I'm glad I'm here with you.
Likewise.
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks for doing this.
yeah, of course. Actually, I should have wore a stocking cap. You'd be uh,
Eskimo Bros.
stocking cap. Yes,
Wouldn't be the first time.
that's right.
That's not true.
No, it's not true. And we could go through the past and see if that happened actually.
I don't think it did.
Okay. So I just wanted to start off by saying that my favorite song is American Parents.
And you yourself are, well, no, you're not.
I'm an American parent, you're right.
I mean, not really. You're in Buenos
And I'm raising her just like a cat.
Yeah, you should. So you like that one?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Cool.
Great Hot Pockets reverence. Same with the Outback. I noticed you couldn't stop from laughing.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't.
I'm surprised you didn't redo that just to make sure you didn't laugh.
No, I was rolling
No.
pretty gangster on this album. Yeah, I found all these songs on my hard drive, and they were like, some of them were most of they're all demos, really. And then when I listened to them, I was like, I'm not going to do these any better than this, so I'll just poop them out into the world toilet and see what happens. So, but people seem to like it so far. It's only been out for like 3 days, but the feedback. But then again, no one's gonna call you and be like, "Hey, dude, your album blows." You know what I mean? No one's gonna do that. So, but people have been kind. So I'm happy. I'm glad it's over with.
Is American Parents the hidden track?
There is no hidden track. The tracks
Yeah,
are all
that
they're
was only
all.
with CDs.
I did my old band did have a hidden track, and we put the hidden track on Spotify too. So like the last song on the album is like 18 minutes long, but there's audio at the beginning for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then at the very end for like 2 or 3 minutes, we pulled a full Green Day.
That's hilarious. But I wanted to like dig into the meaning of shit.
That sounds really fun.
So with American Parents, I felt like it was a statement about gender obsessed parents who don't acknowledge their own fears.
Nope. Pretty far
I
off
know.
on that one. Oh, you're messing with me?
Yes.
Well played, sir. Well
Um,
played. Well played. I was like,
I knew
what?
you were going to be like, that's not at all what I meant.
Well, no, well, yeah, because that's not at all what I meant. What was your take?
Um, well, I thought it was mostly humorous, like uh, not really like trying to make a statement, but kind of making fun of American materialism, perhaps, and
A little bit.
like the brands that we stand by.
I think it was more, there was someone that I used to know that had a kid, and I got to see them quite a bit. And the iPad was kind of used as a reward for good behavior. And, getting that into the I mean, if I was a parent, I'm sure I would do the same thing too. I don't have any kids, but like, I feel like using the iPad as a reward for good behavior is probably a bad move because you don't want your kid to be like addicted to screens, which they're all going to
Yeah.
be. I mean, hell, we're addicted
Yeah.
to screens, but I just kind of found that to be a weird, kind of easy out for a parent. And this, by the way, was a very good parent, like a very, very good parent. I'm not talking shit about him, but it was weird to see that whenever that person was exhausted, just be like,
Yeah.
and then
Exactly.
that kind of like got me thinking about a bunch of like even some of the ways I was brought up and
Yeah.
generational things and how there is like a certain laziness to parenting that probably comes from exhaustion, I would imagine.
So I think the laziness now just takes like a little bit different form, you know. Um,
But you're
but one thing I can vouch that the screen problem is like it emerges so quickly because you're always looking at your phone and the child's just like, oh yeah, that thing's very important. All right, I got to get a
the
hold of
nut
it.
doesn't fall far from the tree.
What's that?
The nut doesn't fall far from the tree.
No, sure
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like with the rest of it, it's just kind of it is poking fun at like American culture, really,
Yeah.
like I don't know. That's really all
I
of it.
kind of take offense about the hot pockets,
Why?
like, because hot pockets. I mean, were you knocking them or were you praising them?
Uh it was actually a euphemism, Tim.
What? A euphemism for what? Sexual euphemism?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were literally just talking about hot pockets. I mean,
I
who
mean
doesn't give their kids
I
hot
was
pockets?
literally it's double entendre. There's a lot of
Okay.
I love double entendre. So there's like it's literal about the hot pocket, but that's why I laughed because of the euphemism and because hot pockets are hilarious.
Yeah, they are.
There's like a whole
The dude, hot pockets, I think were invented in this country.
of course they were. They're more American than George Washington. Dude, Hot Pockets has a thing now. This is the American Parents 2023 version. They're making sandwiches that are just meat, cheese, and like this bun looking wrapper thing bread. It's like a Hot Pocket sandwich that's frozen. And it's like I've seen ads for them, and it's like, Mom bought us these. It's like your mom doesn't love you. Like your mom bought a box of frozen sandwiches. You don't, they're not even microwavable. You just let them thaw out and then you eat the thing. I don't know what they're called, but it's like, I mean, if I feel like the state should take away a parent's kid if they're sending them to school with those, that should just be a red flag, and it should be like we're in the system, kid. Your parents don't care. Your mom gave you a
CPS, call them.
your mom gave you a frozen fucking hot pocket sandwich to thaw out for your nutrients. So yeah, that's amazing. We should find that ad and put it in here, but I don't think that's legal because I don't think I can do that.
If you
So
do it for like 5 seconds, it's probably okay.
I don't know. I don't think that Hot Pockets is gonna, you know, come down on me with the 56 people that might watch this, but not big numbers.
Speaking of big numbers, 1953.
Mhm.
Your voice sounds really good in that track.
Yeah, I was in my prime.
Yeah,
That's
that
that.
really like nailed it. Um,
There's also auto tune on that. So,
wow.
but I mean, I really wasn't that pitchy. We were more trying to get the effect of auto tune, which we did not really succeed in either. So,
Well,
but
I don't have a good ear, so I wouldn't know.
T-Pain, yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah, of course.
that's
We talked about this.
that's auto tune. But yeah,
But I wanted to ask, what did they not get right in the black and white era?
racism.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that's the nod.
And
See,
so you said we know a lot more
see, there's
now.
more double entendre with the black and the white, Tim. See what I did?
Okay, yeah, damn. Yeah, you're explaining the levels to me. I'm just I need to put my literature hat back on. I took
Well,
it
I probably wouldn't put my literature hat on to listen to my songs either.
off. Okay. I wanted to ask, so you said in 2016 we know a lot more now.
No, that ain't it. You just heard it wrong. We it's 2016 and we are no more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're like similar than as we were then, or we
Uh
don't exist.
well, I mean that's the thing is like that song also can be taken as a breakup song or it can be taken as a song about the United States. There's entendres all over this one, bud.
Yeah.
Double entendres, triple entendres, quadruple entendres.
I like it. I've never actually I don't think we ever sat down to actually like go over this stuff over one of your albums. Usually our discussion over your latest album is like not as far ranging as this one, which I'm glad that we're doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I figure
Um,
I may as well use the podcast to advertise the only thing I'm selling. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, one of my favorite songs is Terry Crow's
knife fight.
Killer, yeah, Knife Fight.
Yeah.
Uh, and the beginning of it reminds me of Smashing Pumpkins,
Wow.
1979.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
Um,
That's not me playing guitar. That's I'm playing bass. Like a lot of the on this album particularly, I played like all the instruments except for
so I
drums.
thought,
Except for drums on 1953, I didn't play the drums on that.
okay,
And I think the drums on A Notion Like Truth, I didn't play, but everything else I played. So but the guitar on that song on Terry Crow's Knife Fight is the only other thing I didn't play, and that was an old friend of mine.
is Terry Crow a real person?
It's me. Uh, it's the nickname of mine because back in the day, I had this like massive beard for a really long time. I'm talking like almost a year probably. And I didn't shave it. I just let it get out of control. And then it got to a point where I was like, I should get rid of this. And I shaved it down to about where I'm at now, maybe. But the difference was so drastic that I felt real weird for like, where's my face? For like several days. And I was talking to my friends about how after I shaved my beard off, I looked like Russell Crowe's brother with Down syndrome, Terry Crow. And so yeah, my nickname was Terry Crow for a very long time amidst
It's a
a
good one.
certain group of people.
Crow's such a cool name. I got this joke from Colin Jost stuck in my head. He says, Harlan Crow, the whitest guy with the blackest name. And I just can't like stop saying that. And Harlan
Yeah.
Crow is such a fucking sick name. Like it's the coolest name.
Harlan to me is a white guy.
Harlan is.
That's a
You don't
white
like
guy.
it?
No, it's a white guy.
Really?
Yeah. I think
I
white
don't
guy.
know. I know an Arlen, R.I.P. just died like 2 weeks ago. But I don't. I never knew a Harlan. I don't think.
I don't know that I've ever known one either, but for some reason, when I hear when I hear you say Harlan, it reminds me of like a guy in Appalachia, like a white guy. But I
Yeah,
mean,
I guess so.
to each his own. But Colin Jost is much smarter than me, so obviously.
He can only make those jokes because Michael Che is right next to him.
Oh, I love when they. My favorite thing is whenever Michael Che will write jokes for Colin Jost and make.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my favorite. Whenever that happens, I love that
Dude,
shit.
that is so genius. Yeah,
Yeah, they're definitely the best part of that show at this point. Like,
yeah, it is.
actually
And
went back.
I can't access it here. I can't get Saturday Night Live like YouTube. It's not available in this country,
What about
and so
Hulu?
I have to depend.
Peacock. It's on Peacock.
I'm not gonna subscribe to Peacock.
I mean, I wouldn't
Like,
either. but it's
I
free.
have enough subscriptions, but I'm having to depend
Sassy
on like
boy,
random
sassy
like.
subscription boy. I'm not
I
gonna
depend on like random
subscribe to Peacock.
Vietnamese.
I have enough
Dude,
subscriptions.
this is something that really bothers me. I have to depend on these random Vietnamese YouTubers with like crazy names that, you know, the letters don't make sense and shit.
Yeah,
And they screw up the recording. Like the recording is like change the order of shit. And so it just like it makes me nuts.
it's probably to keep
Like
it
I
from.
leave angry comments on their like YouTube
Well,
videos
it's
being like,
probably
why is this messed up? Eh.
it's probably to keep YouTube from taking it down because
Yeah.
if they order it, then it doesn't mess with copyright law.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So if I put when I
I'm gonna
put
stop leaving those comments.
yeah whenever I put the hot pocket thaw out sandwich commercial in the middle of this, I'll just rearrange it so it gets around the copyright law and hot pockets can't come after us.
Holy shit, huh? Okay.
Don't. I'm
Nice.
not. By the way, I'm not a lawyer, so don't. I have a. You know, I've got a spilled ashtray in a guitar chord back there.
If
So
you were a lawyer, would that be the case? No. Lawyers have house cleaners.
lawyers have their shit together.
Yeah, exactly. They better. Um,
Unless they're unless they're a DA or not a DA, a public defender. Then they don't have.
public defender. Public
Yeah,
defender. Then
yeah.
they're all messed up.
Then they're just like, all right, number. Good luck.
To return to the album, I wanted to read this really great line from Simple Math. Got a funny feeling in my chest. Is it love or cardiac arrest?
Yeah,
Genius.
pretty silly, but it's funny that I don't know that that's ever been used before, and it's like kind of right there. Like,
Maybe
uh-oh.
to you, kind of took me by surprise.
Oh, I know, but I mean, like, it's kind of, I mean, it seems like it's obvious if you're
Right,
looking
it
at
does.
the line because it's like, the love flutter you get.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I got lucky with that one. I snagged her out of the sky.
Right out of the ether.
Yeah.
I wanted to. So there are more than one lyric that kind of um brought to mind like your idealism or your like moral compass. You mentioned it in one song.
What's wrong
Um,
with me?
yeah, what's wrong with you? Your sacred moral compass is everything wrong with me.
Mhm.
And I think I know what you meant by that. Do you want me to
Yeah.
take a stab at it?
It could also just be that it rhymed. What? Go for it.
uh, yeah, you have this value system that prohibits you from doing things that you think are inauthentic or selling out or like it's not as simple. I can't find the
I
right way
haven't
to
cleaned
say it.
up. That's why I haven't cleaned up that ashtray yet.
That's because somebody else
I'm,
dropped it.
I'm too punk rock to pick up my room.
uh, but yeah, like your sacred moral compass causes you lots of problems
Yeah. Yeah.
because like you can't leave stuff alone if you disagree with it on principle. Um, and yeah, there have been like plenty of times where people have come after you for stuff that was bullshit, and you aren't going to let that shit rest if it's not justified. But
Right.
even just beyond that, like beyond that question, like just in general, like with music, you have like a moral compass about music and about art, and it I wouldn't say it gets in your way.
It does.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't want to say it, but um, it would get in any artist's way. you
Yeah.
know?
Well, it's in regards to art or whatever, that's kind of the quandary,
Yep. I heard a
because
painter say that the first time he sold a painting, he got a karmic punch in the kidney
yeah. Well,
because
I
he
mean,
didn't
it's like
felt bad about it.
my thing has always been that like if I'm not the smartest person on the planet, but I'm not stupid, I'm slightly intelligent. And like there's nothing that makes me more aggravate nothing that aggravates me more than when I can watch somebody in real time attempting to manipulate me, and I know that they're doing it, but I don't let on just to watch them keep doing it. And I keep giving them the benefit of the doubt, thinking, well, maybe that's not what they're doing, but I'm aware of the fact that these things are lining up and it looks like they're trying to manipulate me or take advantage of the situation, but I'm going to keep giving them the benefit of the doubt. And I'll do that. And then whenever I get inevitably let down, because that is what they were doing and I could see it the whole time, but I chose to give them the benefit of the doubt and let them, keep doing their thing or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Then I get very mad because I'm very hurt. And then there's also anger because if I wanted to, I could play people really easily, and manipulate people, but I don't do that. I just kind of wear my heart on my sleeve or my chest. And, you know, but I'd rather, I don't know. It's one of the great questions of all time, really. Like, it's kind of, do you do the right thing now and maintain that moral compass or whatever? And I guess if you're in the religion or whatever, get rewarded later. Or do you give in to the now and do whatever is good for the moment and be
And then
self
ask for forgiveness later,
right? Or yeah, sure, yeah. So
which
I don't
is
know.
so like gaming the system.
Yeah, I try not to. It's like it's very weird for me in anything to game the system, even though I could in a lot of ways, and I try not to. But I mean, yeah, I should have went the other way. I was actually thinking about a friend of mine. That's funny that you say that because I had heard about an old friend of mine who I haven't seen in years that is doing quite well. And this guy did not work hard and did game the system, and we were really close, maybe like 10 years ago, something like that. And I kind of always looked down on his work ethic, but that guy is doing better than me now, for sure, financially or whatever. And it's very comfortable. And it's like, I looked down on him at the time, because of his lack of a moral compass, let's say, and come to find out, maybe I was wrong because he's doing really well now. And I'm not doing that great. I'm not doing bad, you know what I mean? But I'm not doing as good as he is. So who knows? But I'm just going to keep like an old immigrant, just stick to my guns and run the diner till I have to burn it for the insurance money.
Then you can ask forgiveness later.
Yeah. Yeah. At my trial for fraud.
Plead for the mercy of the court.
Yeah.
What about Notion Like Truth? Love the organ, by the way. It is an organ, or
Yeah. Basically. I mean, it's like a synth or something
it's a
like
keyboard, but it's
yeah.
organ sound.
Yeah. Yeah. I was pretty happy with the keys on that. I played those and that
Me
was
too.
probably the best keyboard playing I've ever done in my life.
It was really good.
Yeah, and that's not. I'm not saying that term makes me Stevie Wonder. I'm just saying, like, for me, that was probably the best I've ever played keyboard. Yeah, I like that song a lot. Actually, it's got like a different vibe to it than anything I've ever done before.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's a lot of songs in this that have a like just even within the songs, one to the next, you don't know what it's going to sound like,
It's weird. It's all over the place.
which is cool because the departure from one style to another is so drastic in some
Yeah.
cases.
But I feel like it does have a thread. You know, I really do. I feel like when you listen to it, it does flow, even though all the songs are like all over the place. So,
And what about a notion like truth? Um,
what about it?
you say that you should have known better than to trust a notion like truth.
Yeah.
And was there anything specific that you're referring to?
There's like four or five things specifically that I was referring to. You know, I wrote all these songs from like 2016 to 2020, and that was a tough period in my personal life, and it was also just a tough period culturally in the United States and hell, even the world in 2020 because of COVID. So I feel like, in a weird way, my personal experiences during that period of time kind of prepared me or shaped, I guess, some of the opinions that I have uh, on everything. You know what I mean? Like I'm a little jaded, more, I mean, I've always been a little jaded, but now I'm a little more jaded and kind of leery of truth or anything like that, you know, because it seems like truth is subjective,
Mm.
you know, and I really think that that's true, which is hilarious to say, but I really genuinely do think truth is
The only
subjective.
truth. The only
I
truth
think
is that it's subjective.
yeah, so you know, but so that song was about, it was kind of inspired by something specific, but a lot with a lot of stuff that I'll write, man, it'll be inspired by something specific, but then I try to like pull out and make it to where it could be about more stuff. So I'll try to
Yeah.
find like inspiration in something personal, and then if I start to notice similarities in my personal situation with larger things that are going on in the world, you know what I'm saying? I'll try to draw on those similarities to make it make the song possibly apply to more than just my life.
Hmm. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention High Society is just a weirder cult from What's Wrong with Me.
Can you say that
Really
again?
like that.
Your Buenos Aires internet locked up.
Yeah. High Society is just a weirder cult.
A weird occult. Yeah, yeah, it is.
It
Whenever
is
I
for
was
sure.
playing, when I was popular or whatever, playing music around my locality, you know, I got to like rub elbows with the movers and the shakers in this community, and it was just like, wow, this is what's up here running the show.
Yeah. Kind of like Atlanta
Oh yeah, yeah,
when they go to that fancy mansion and
yeah.
it's like super weird.
Well, I mean, it's not like that, but
That'd be funny.
that's a great episode. But
Yeah, it is.
no, it's just, you know, like people's tendency, and I have it. I mean, everybody has it, but like the tendency to want to be a part of the in crowd
Mm.
in whatever, you know,
Mhm.
it's it's kind of, you know, Apple, you can just cool it with the update thing for a while. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I think that everybody's got that primitive desire to fit into the tribe or whatever. But whenever you start to see people drooling about it and they'll sell their own soul to like keep their position in it, it's disgusting.
Mhm.
And it
Mhm.
becomes something other than itself, and it just morphs into like this weird form of it's almost incestual in a way
Mhm. Yeah.
amidst those groups, you know. It's just disgusting to me. So that was me spitting on their face.
You like nothing better. Um, One of my favorite songs was Tarot Cards, Horoscopes, and Crystal Balls.
Mhm.
Um, Partially because I love that shit.
I can see
Uh, I'm mostly joking.
that.
Uh, but I did just live in Mexico, which is kind of like a haven for all that. Um, but I don't think that's what you were really talking about in that song.
Well, kind of too. But no. I mean, mainly
Are
I'm
you
just
talking about like alternative forms of knowing?
Yeah, I think so. Just like it's kind of like the same thing as like the notion like truth thing, where truth is subjective. So I can hear all this shit that I want to believe is true,
Hmm.
but and especially if I'm, and my dad used to say that's actually the believe half of what you see and none of what you hear thing is my dad used to say that to me, and that one stuck with me, and I think that's really a good way to live, because if you see a situation, you're seeing it from one point of view. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You have one angle. And so you don't know what's really going on. So believe half of that. And if you hear something, believe none of it, because we've all played the game telephone when we were kids. And by
Yeah.
the time it gets around the room, it's completely different than what it originally was. So that's kind of what it was. And then, like, I mean, tarot cards, horoscopes, and crystal balls are also just kind of funny stuff. I think I don't believe in any of that shit. And I think at the time I knew a girl that was trying to read my tarot cards all the time. And I was like, get out of town.
Yeah.
Get out of town, space
I
cowgirl.
recently I did I had a reading. One of my clients paid for it basically with like some lady that she really trusted. And as soon as we got on the phone, she was like, um, I'm hearing like a departed friend, maybe also a grandpa, and maybe an aunt. But they're kind of quiet. So there are people, but they're kind of quiet.
I love that she said a grandpa, maybe an aunt, just to really cover the width, the breadth.
Exactly. Like everybody that you could
Yeah.
possibly have lost for
Yes.
this age group that I know you belong to,
Internet.
but they're being quiet.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
being quiet, and it was just
You gotta love, and I guess another thing too that was like with that, it's also like watch out for grifters, you know, like grifters.
yes, yes. Like even
So
being generous, I was just like, okay, you might as well just ask me questions because you don't know anything yet. Obviously. Like, and I didn't even expect you to come on the phone knowing stuff about me, except for what my client obviously would have told you.
yeah,
You know?
dude, it's so silly, man.
Yeah.
It's very silly, and I guess I kind of at that time saw this girl I knew she was young, man, in her early 20s, and was like taking these tarot cards really seriously. And then I extrapolated that into like politics and culture and everything that was going on at the time. And, it just kind of, oh, wow, like it's all bullshit and truth is subjective. So,
So, like, if we look at these songs as a whole, I mean, we're skipping a few now, but it does seem like there's kind of a perspective that is like um, articulated a bit of like skepticism
yeah.
um, and like disillusionment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was written from
Um,
2016 to 2020. So I
yeah,
think that skepticism and delusionment probably like describes that period of time in American culture pretty well.
yeah, right. Mm, yeah, not a great look. uh, what about Womb Full of Mirrors?
That's just a
That
nod.
one.
That's just a nod to Jimi Hendrix is all that is. There's a
For Room Full of Mirrors.
Yeah, and so I used to play uh Room Full of Mirrors, and I would play it with that chord progression and sing the lyrics over it because Hendrix had like 9 different versions of that song. So when I would cover it, I made up my own version because there was a lot of different versions of that song musically with the same lyrics. So I like just would do it over that. And so yeah, that's just a nod to Jimi Hendrix. That's all that is. There he is back there, right above my head.
There he is.
Jimmy.
Like that guy. He's okay.
He's a heck of a guitar player.
Plays that gearbox. The journalist. Um, I didn't get to listen to that one actually,
That's perfectly fine. We don't need to talk about it.
but considering that I do a bit of journalism, that was kind of the one that I was like waiting to get to. But then I ran out of time.
You fucked up, Tim.
I did fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really like go into too many specifics. Just listen to it when you have time.
Okay. Will do.
You'll like it, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I don't take criticism of journalists personally. I'm one of the guys that also throws stones at them.
Well, you give her a listen and we'll we're not going to put it in the podcast, but all the people out there listening, you go listen. Hey, put in the comments what you think Tim's going to say about that song. No one's going to do that.
I'll put a comment on the video
When
on
it comes
YouTube.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to. I've got one more to do, and then maybe a couple other people, but I think I'm just gonna cut it up and like do it song by song. So I'm not quite sure. I don't think I'm gonna do it long form, but I don't know. I also might be just lazy and not do any more interviews other than the guy that I'm supposed to do later, and just have three people and just put them all together and then shove it out the door because
That would be cool though to hear three perspectives on each song, or on the songs that we talked about at least.
yeah, I wanted to do more. I wanted to do like a lot more. So I had one night maybe I had a few drinks and I was thinking, and I was like, what I should do. And I don't know if I'm going to do this or not, but what I was going to do is like just go down the album and be like Wound Full of Mirrors, and then show you talking about it, other people talking about it, or whoever talked about it best. You know what I mean? And then the next song, same way, and just use whatever conversation seems to apply the best. But that's a lot of editing, and I'm tired of this album. So, and
One thing I wanted to ask you about was the instrumentals. Some of my favorite songs were the instrumental ones. I mean, I always just kind of liked instrumentals in general, but I wonder why you didn't throw lyrics on some of them hot
well, like
pockets.
Wound Full of Mirrors, there's supposed to be lyrics on it. I'm supposed to be singing that Hendrix stuff, but then I think that probably would get me into some trouble with copyright. And then Up in the Club and I'm Losing My Mind. I'm Up in the Club and I'm Losing My Mind is instrumental. I don't know, I'd have to rap. That's not gonna
And
and
Terry Crow's knife fight, like that just begged for lyrics.
that was just that was me and that guy that was playing guitar. We got together one night and we're drinking, and I was like, let's just make something up. So
Yeah,
we recorded that in like a couple hours, just made it up on the spot. And
that's so cool.
yeah, it was a fun night. And I think he did a really good job on the guitar.
Yeah, he did.
And I played guitar at the end too. I play slide when I come in under him with like fuzz on the slide when he plays this big lead at the end.
Mm-hmm.
He was going through a divorce at the time. And I really think that when you listen to his playing, you can hear the pain that he was going through. I really, really can hear it. I mean, granted, I was privy to that knowledge, but I remember that night when we were doing it, hearing him play and being like, man, you can hear the pain that he's going through right now in the way he's playing. So he did a really good job.
Agreed.
Give it a listen with that in mind.
I will again.
For real. Like you can really hear the pain in his playing. Big time. when he's playing the lead, particularly.
Mhm.
Well, what do you think? Anything else you want to knock off the old to-do list, or did we get it?
I think we got it.
Why do you think I called it home? I'm not going to give you my answer, but I'm curious to see what you think. There's like 6 right answers, by the way.
There are no wrong answers.
I said there are 6 right answers.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of reasons.
I got Latin American internet. Um, maybe because all these other things that you had put your trust in um, turned out to be bunk. And so
Oh my God, you
you
could.
have to find home somewhere else. You know, you put put things in these concepts or these like people or this place,
Yeah.
and so home has to be somewhere else.
Yep. That's part of it. Like I said, there's a bunch of reasons why, but that's one of them. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, man,
Even the womb, even the womb.
that's why I was okay with starting out the album with an instrumental, which I do a lot, actually. I've done before. That's it's frowned upon, but I don't, it's okay. But man, thank you for getting out your earbuds and your little tiny turquoise microphone.
Thank
So
you.
we could talk into the tiny turquoise microphone one more time. Can we pull it up?
Testing, testing. Turquoise microphone.
Coming,
Sounding excellent.
coming through
Excelente.
clear and hot. Cuando yo escucho tú dices, es muy bueno porque tú tienes poco.
Buena voz.
Okay. I don't know how to say microphone.
Buena voz.
Tú tienes poco bueno voz en tu mano y tú eres muy guapo, inteligente y mi mejor amigo.
Gracias, mi amigo.
Adios.
Adios.
Well, heck, how's a guy? There it is. We stop. Yeah, we stop.